Okay, so a lot of you guys have been asking about, or were interested in a video on how to edit the Cernix files, the files that actually run Cernix, the mod files. So inside you'll see I've uploaded two files. One is this file, the other is the listenserver.config file, which we will go into a bit later. The first thing is, though, I'm just going to go over the file structure of this file that I've uploaded so you understand how this should be set up. So if you go into this file, you'll see there's two folders in here. There's a resource folder and there's a script folder. The resource folder contains GNA Realism English, which I have right here, and it's basically all the descriptions in the game. Whenever there's a description that you read when you're playing the game, it's based off this file. So it has literally everything. It's a very large file. All of these files are plain text, and you can open them with something like Notepad++, or even just regular Notepad if you're so bold. It doesn't really matter. There's tons of programs that will read these plain text English files. Back to the file structure, though. So there's the resource folder, which we just explained. There's the scripts folder, okay? The scripts folder contains the actual mod files, basically. There's a playlist folder, but don't really worry about that. There's a sound reference, whatever. Don't worry about that. The theater folder contains all the theater files. Now these are the theater files. These are what drives Cernix. So each one of these files is responsible for some aspect of Cernix. For instance, this one contains the loadouts for the US side, so what each class is and what the name of it is and all those references. There's all of these right here are the rebels. So all these define what loadouts the rebels have, what they can and can't have, what types of rebels there are, etc. There's a base theater, there's an explosive theater, there's a base player theater. Really, the ones that you want to, if you're going to edit things, or you're going to be interested in, are the weapon theater, the weapon upgrades theater, the gear theater. You might have to go into player base theater if you're editing some ammo stuff. But mostly, yeah, just those. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. Common ammo and gear are also important. We'll open them up later maybe. So these are the theater files, and these are what you're going to edit, okay? So let's open one of these and check it out. Let's open the, let's open the weapon theater. So this is what the weapon theater looks like. You can see it includes, if you have any programming knowledge, it's including the previous. So this file is referencing the base weapon file, base explosives file, which is somewhere in here, right there, and the common ammo, which is, you get the idea. Each of these files are part of this file. So if something in here references something you don't understand, it's probably in one of these other files. With that said, this contains all the weapons in the game and all of their attributes. So let's pull up a gun here that everybody likes. How about the MK18? Here's the MK18 right here. You can see there are attributes listed for it. There's sort of a beginning part that has all the kind of the base, like the general stuff, how fast it fires, what the weapon models are looking, what weapon model it's referencing rather, and maybe we'll go into what these are later in a different video. But yeah, this is all the stuff about the MK18, the field of view, the sounds that it uses, it references those files, the particle, the recoil of the weapon itself. You can see there's some comments here describing what each thing does, which is useful if you don't know, which obviously you probably don't. So if you see 2 slashes, it means it's a comment, which means it's not really part of the code, and you can read and see what it does. Yeah, so this has every single weapon in Cernix. You can see there are a lot of things. But practically speaking, how do you edit this and how does it... So basically, if you want to change a value in here, how do you load it up on Insurgency in order so that you can check what you're doing and test it out? Because if you're going to make changes, you're going to want to test it, right? So that's where this file comes in, listenserver.config. Okay, this file allows you to load the multiplayer Cernix thing. So right here, the first line, second line really, is loading the Cernix theater. This is the Cernix theater reference loader file, I guess, the name of it. You can do this manually, but this file will do it for you. So whenever you create a single player server, it will load this file for you. You can turn it off whenever you want by going like this. That'll load a regular file, and you can turn it back on by going like this. Just comment it out and comment it back. There are other things in here that you can change that will change how the bots spawn, how many bots there are, if they notice you or not, if they want to fight, if they can crouch, if you can move. All these things are in here that Damio added so that you can mess around with them. That way you can actually play against bots and with your changes. But we're just going to open up a game here, and we're going to just make some really basic changes to show how this sort of works. So these files, you need, so I uploaded the Cernix files and the server config. You need to put the listen server inside of your, inside of your, you can see the location here. Inside your Insurgency 2 folder, you need to add a scripts and a resource folder. This is what the listenserver.config is going to reference. The listenserver.config actually goes in your Insurgency in here in your config, listen server, that's mine. But you're going to want to edit the files that are in your Insurgency 2 folder under scripts. So do not edit your files that are under Insurgency 2, Insurgency, and then scripts. These won't change anything if you edit them. You're going to get real lost. So only edit this file here. These files in here, and these theater files. So I have open in my notepad the weapon theater in the game. So this is what my game is currently running off of this file here. So we're going to edit the M79 grenade launcher because that's what I have set up. Oops. Okay. So here's the M79 grenade launcher. Here's all the attributes about it. And you can see that it has a bunch of things. Actually, I was messing around with it, so some of these are going to be different than what you see. I was trying to do the spread on it, but it didn't work. Anyways, so here's all the attributes about it. But let's have some fun. Let's change. Here's the ammo that it uses. Here's the ammo type. Here's how many clips you have, maximum. Here's how many rounds are in each clip. And here's the default number of clips. So let's have some fun. Let's do that. Right? So let me go in here. You can see that I've already, let me show you what it looks like by default though. I'm going to load up, I'm going to type map space SDK underscore co-op. I think most of you should have this map. And it allows you to run the Cernix single player basically. So let's choose Combat Engineer, go down here, and grab the HE. And you'll see that I only get one shot with it. Alright? Now changing files and testing them is actually really easy because you don't need to leave the game or anything like that. All you have to do is when the game's running, just Alt-Tab to where you're editing the file. Back in here, change the value to what you want, click Save, go back into the game, reload the map. That's it. Reload the map, and your changes will be ready in the game. They'll already be there, so we can test out what a 100-round grenade launcher feels like. You can see I've set it so that each round in the grenade launcher is equivalent to 100 shots. So it has a 100-round clip, basically. Basically unlimited ammo. Now this will work for any weapon or any armor or anything else you want to change in the game. Simply find which attribute you want to change and change it. As far as adding additional attributes to items and weapons and armor, etc. that don't have them, it's going to be pretty hit or miss, to be honest. I wouldn't try doing that until you really understand what you're actually doing. What I like to do, though, is if you want to make sure what you're doing is working right off the bat, is change the weapon cost. See right here? Here's the M79 grenade launcher. Here's weapon cost and supply points. So what I like to do is to make sure, sanity check, what changes I'm making are working, I change it to whatever points you want. And then, when I reload the map, what I should see is this grenade launcher now costs 3 supply points to buy. And it'll be down at the bottom here. There it is. See, it's worth 3 points now to get it. Bargain, since it has a 100-round mag. Anyways, if you guys have any more questions, just ask them below, because I'm going to post this in a thread on the forums, in the discussion forums. So ask away, I guess. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, and I'll do my best to answer and help you guys set this up so that you can edit files like everybody else can. Alright.